We gotta talk about TikTok, because TikTok is at it again with being filled with overly rude people who just don't know how to quit. An artist named Cassie posted their art progression from 1 year ago until now, and received tons of hate comments regarding their current style, calling it a regression in their style, and other things. You can see the improvement in their art, and they obviously made specific stylistic choices. Yet the comments were completely tearing the young artist apart, yelling art lore in the comments and comparing them to Puppy-chan. Cassie stated in the comments of the video that they were making her uncomfortable, which I don't blame her. It would make me incredibly uncomfortable if a large majority of comments on a video were people dogging on my style, especially as a young artist who is just trying to find their path in the art world. The anonymity of the internet continues to plague communities, and people will continue to be absolute trolls to each other no matter what you do because they know that they wouldn't actually say these things face to face with someone. Lately, TikTok has been thriving off of negativity that is fueled by picking apart young and upcoming artists who are just trying to figure out their style and are trying to get their reach out there. From people being art lored and mocked due to style differences and anatomical errors or differences, and people mocking young artists who are just trying to learn. None of these comments are helpful, by the way. Nobody provides any type of actual critique for the artist. They just shit on them the whole time, which is not helpful, obviously. They're never gonna be provided any helpful feedback if you're just telling them that their new art style sucks and that they're just regressing in their art altogether. That's gonna make them quit. Point blank. TikTok has become a breeding ground for trolls and unchecked bullying by these individuals for the last couple of years. As someone who was personally bullied my whole life throughout school, art was my #1 outlet in life. And I would be incredibly sad if trolls online felt like they had the power to take that away from me. It hurts my heart to see young artists feel they need to give up on a platform altogether because of people being assholes online. There truly seems to be a complete disconnect between the fact that there is an actual person behind the screen that posted the artwork, and the fact that the words that you say will probably hurt that person. I have personally seen it on multiple platforms. Truly, if you don't like something, you can always press the not interested button and you can, make your algorithm however you want. Rather than just sit there and bully the person and keep that stuff on your feed, you can be the bigger person and just ignore the art that you don't want to see and move on with your life. But people on TikTok don't know how to do that. Instead, they just want to be hateful and vengeful and comparative and rude and just ruthless to each other for no freaking reason, and it's upsetting. It's just upsetting because why are we being so mean to each other? What happened to artists being supportive of each other? What happened to artists actually being for artists and being supportive and being nice to each other? Because it doesn't happen anymore. We're supposed to be wanting people to keep up with their talents and keep up with their artistic endeavors and support what they want. And, we can be our worst critic, but other people can also be so freaking mean and be 10 times worse. As I mentioned previously, none of the people commenting on this video are helpful in the slightest. They don't say, hey, you should work on your anatomy, or hey, here's a tip about so-and-so, or here's a tip about this, this, and this. Instead, they just dog on the fact that the style doesn't fit the golden standard of TikTok. It doesn't match what other people think is conventionally pretty or attractive. And there's something horribly wrong with that. Now, yes, the style is conventionally different from the style that they had originally done a year before, but that doesn't mean that the style is a complete regression in what they're doing. It means that they're playing with shape. It means that they're trying different things, different coloring styles. That's the whole point of being an artist. And yes, it is normal to go through art regression if that is the case that the artist is going through. It's all part of the process. I know firsthand how difficult it is as an artist to expand on your style, because we don't want to stay stagnant. However, TikTok commenters always take everything to a whole new level, a level at which is completely unnecessary in my opinion. TikTok commenters criticize artists for anything they don't like about your work. If your character isn't inclusive enough, if they're too inclusive, if they're too plus size, if they're not plus size enough, if you're literally a 13-year-old artist who is just learning how to do digital art, so your work will, as a standard, look not that great. And if your work isn't colored right, or if, God forbid, the anatomy is off a little bit, all the commenters will do is compare you to other artists who were put in the same awful position because of the actions of the horrible community. People should not be afraid to expand on their art. People shouldn't be afraid to try something new or be scared to post their art at all. It's heartbreaking to see this, and the trend of ruthless bullying will unfortunately only continue so long as the attitude of the community continues to be so incredibly negative towards each other and always at a stance of it being a competition. Unfortunately, TikTok is not going to change. And it's the sad truth. The community over there is toxic and probably will always be toxic. But I feel especially that the ruthless comments to young artists is so incredibly unnecessary. There are probably some artists that have quit drawing altogether because of the behaviors of the TikTok community and how incredibly mean they can be. And it would be nice if people would be just nice to each other and maybe support each other for once. But seeing this happen time and time again within these communities just further proves that that is not going to happen. Cassie, if you see this, I think your art is heading in the right direction. You are discovering your style and expanding on your work. As artists, we should be expanding on our style and avoiding stagnant work. So even if you don't return to TikTok, I hope you continue drawing on the side and work hard towards your art dreams. This video was more of a rant because honestly the TikTok community pisses me off, so I apologize if I got a little bit heated during this one. But nonetheless, I hope that this is a sign that maybe we just need to be a little bit nicer to each other, and I hope that there's some people that will maybe put their best foot forward and attempt to be a little nicer in the community, although I highly doubt that. But you can dream, right? If you enjoyed this type of video, I invite you to subscribe. I also invite you to join my Discord that I have linked below, where we chit-chat and talk about art. If you liked this video specifically, go ahead and leave a like and let me know about your day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.